Hello and welcome to or welcome back to my channel, AJ Budgets. I am AJ and I'm so thankful and grateful that you are here with me today. In today's video, I'm going to take you on hopefully a semi-organized but probably a chaotic journey of how I go from talking about going on a vacation to preliminarily budgeting for it to setting my official budget that I save for. So let's budget for the Bahamas. So my godson that's graduating that lives in Las Vegas that I'm going to see at the end of May wants to go to the Bahamas. And I didn't think I was going to be able to afford to do it. But my school was going to do a summer school in July that I was going to be the director of. The deal fell through, but in my contract, I still get paid for a month. And so I am going to use that money to take him on his dream vacation to the Bahamas. And I need to figure out, is going direct going to be the best? Or is the cruise going to be the best way to do this? And then I don't know why I put actual here. I wanted to do like a interior versus like a ocean view, or maybe even a balcony depending on pricing. So let me get that fixed really quick. So I did video out, I screen recorded my whole process from searching on the websites to budgeting it out virtually and doing all the things. That video was like 2 hours long. So you will be seeing a sped up version of this overlaid because holy cow. I didn't realize, I was like, yeah, this only takes me like 30 minutes. And then literally 2 hours later, I was like, wow. So we are not going to be doing a 2-hour vlog on doing this. So I'll be speeding it up and then just kind of walking you through my process of what I'm doing. And then I'll be budgeting here as well. So I'm going to set my camera up a little to where my budget's kind of off to the side so that right over here, then you can kind of follow along the process of me looking up different excursions and different cruises and different hotels and things like that. The first thing that I did was I looked at cruises because I'm a huge cruise person. So I absolutely love going on cruises because everything is included. So you have your food, you have entertainment, you have the hotel room, you got all, I can't spell interior. Okay. You got all the things included. And so it's really hard to beat that price. And so I was in my brain thinking like cruise is probably going to be the way that we go. And so I looked at a couple of things. So I took my other godson last summer on a cruise and I did an ocean view it was like a balcony, not a balcony, but it was like not an ocean view, but it had a window that opened up to the promenade. So it was like an interior, like view / window situation. But here's the deal with teenagers, they don't spend a lot of time in the room. When I went by myself and I went with my ex-husband and I went with my best friend, we spent more time in the room than I did with the teens. So I think an interior or an ocean view is going to be the way to go. I don't think I want to spend the extra money on balcony just because we really were only in the room for maybe 30 to 40 minutes at night. And then like just as long as it took us to get ready in the mornings. And so I'm assuming that's how it's going to be. So with that being said, I looked at a few different cruises. I think I'm searching Margaritaville in this portion of the video, but I also looked at Royal Caribbean and Carnival and Norwegian Cruise Line and all of those things. So the best deal that I found was a 4-night cruise. And for interior, we're looking at $1241.50 for the days. And then for an ocean view, it was $1651.50. So quite a bit of a difference there. However, 4-day Bahamas. However, it might work out with the flights. I want to spend like with $2,500, but I know because I'm doing 2% and flights, it's going to be more like 35-ish hundred is kind of what I want to spend at is my max for this. So, okay. If I go there direct, it's going to be, I can get an IHG hotel and I have enough points where I can do an IHG hotel, and it would be $700 plus 72,000 points. I have the points. Would love to have been able, those are expensive hotel rooms, but you know. Okay, then flights directly to Nassau for Xavier would be 600. We're rounding up. And then for me, it would be $750. Okay, whereas, and this is flying local for me. And then it stops with a layover. in DFW. Okay, so then if I go directly to, this is out of Miami. So for Xavier, I love Vegas. They get direct flights basically anywhere you want to go, which is incredible. One of the things I miss. But Xavier is going to be about $525-ish with taxes. And that's a direct flight. And then if I fly out of, I looked at a couple different airports. There's like 4 airports within 2 hours. Ideally, I want to go to the one closest to me, which is like an hour away. It's like 50 minutes away. And then there's one down in Arkansas that is 90 minutes away. So those are the 2 main ones. The one that's 90 minutes away has a direct flight, and it is also the cheapest. It will also cost me $525 because it's a direct flight. So we love that. Okay. With that being said, I also want to put everything that's included over here. So we're going to have a $50 credit for a restaurant, which means we can eat at one of the specialty restaurants. This includes Wi-Fi, so we don't have to pay for the Wi-Fi. And this includes my drink package, and it includes a soda package. And that's the same for both of these. So that includes a lot. Plus it's going to include all food. Okay. Over here now, I have to figure out, I'm going to need to spend money on food each day. The hotel we're staying at includes breakfast. So we're going to have breakfast included, which is nice. Okay. And then I'm going to need lunches and dinners. And I looked at restaurants too on my journey to kind of get an idea on different restaurants in the area and how much it's going to cost. And I came to the conclusion it's going to be about $50 each lunch and then about $100 for each dinner. And that includes maybe like a glass of wine. It's going to be like $80 to $100 for dinner, but I also know we're going to maybe want to get like a little coffee or a little snacky snack or an ice cream. So I figure, okay, afternoons, snack / dinner, $100. So I need 4 dinners. So that's going to be $400. And lunch was looking pretty consistently around $20 to $25 per person. So I was going to say about $50 for lunches, and I'm going to need 3 lunches. So that would be $150. With the direct, I'm also going to need the airport transfer. And that is $209. And then we want to do this. He wants to swim with the pigs. Swim with the pigs. That is his like #1 wish for this trip. And in Nassau, the swim with the pigs is $99 per person. So I'm going to round up to $200. And then I know I'm going to want some drinks. I'm going to say probably $130 for that. And then souvenirs / like miscellaneous spending, maybe $200, and then I can do ER cash at $50. Okay. Now on the cruise side of things, I want to add priority access. And that is going to be an additional $129. And priority access means we get on the boat first. So you get first, like I've done that with Royal Caribbean, and I'm like the first 10 people on the boat. So we have like, embarkation is at like 4 p.m. I'm usually on ship in my stateroom doing things on ship by 11 a.m. Then tender, we get priority tender. So we don't have to have a little ticket to tender. Whenever we want to just get off the ship, we just go, we get escorted to the front of the line, and we get off. We get on, we get late checkout, we get breakfast and free what is it called? Room service. So for me, it's worth it. I like having that kind of VIP. I don't like waiting in lines. I don't like being around a lot of people. And I don't know, it just makes it a little special. And then it's like, it's not really that much when you break it out by the day. And then also just not waiting in the line for the ports. That is worth it to me. Okay. With that being said, priority access, $129. And then we're going to do swim with the pigs here. Because I'm on a cruise ship, I want to go with the excursion with the cruise ship, just in case there's any problems. The cruise ship waits for us. So it is a little bit more expensive, but I get a $50 excursion credit too. I forgot. So the swim with the pigs is $344.98 is what it ended up being. $344.98 after you take in that $50 credit. So it was like $199.99 maybe per person. So a little bit more expensive, about $100 more expensive. But again, if there's any problems, cruise ship is going to be waiting for us, which is great. Let's see. I am going to need to fly in the day before and get a hotel. And that is going to be, that would be how many points? Is it 32,000 points? Yeah. 32,000 points. But with that, I will need dinner because we'll get in around 5-ish p.m. And so let's see, probably $60. So there's a couple hotel, like restaurants at the hotel. We're going to be in Miami Beach if we do this one. And so there's a lot of things on the beach. And then obviously we can go up and down the beach and do all of those fun things. Let's see, I am going to need Lyft to and from the airport. I checked the price on that. It's going to be $50. Well, it's like $15 and $15, and then they get to and then the hotel will take us to the port for free, and so that is awesome. I also want to do like miscellaneous money here because, like, what if we find something we want to do on the boardwalk or something? So $50 there. Let's see. I am going to also need airport spending on both sides. And this is like if I want a little coffee or I need a little snacky snack at the airport. I usually give myself about $15 each way, and it's usually a coffee and or Cheez-Its. I don't know. I definitely take gambling money. And I usually take $100 to gamble. They do have some like Deal or No Deal and Wheel of Fortune. So if we do that, Deal, No Deal, and then Wheel of Fortune. If we do both of those, it's $30 per person. So 30 times 4, that would be $120. Okay. And then what else? I'm going to need souvenirs. I tend to spend a little more on souvenirs on the ship because, oh my gosh, I typically get like the jewelry. I got permanent jewelry last time that lasted like 8 months, and I loved that, and I would be interested in maybe doing that again. And then what do we need? Miscellaneous / ER. Let's do $100. All right, let's get these added up and see kind of what our differences are. Okay, I have it all added up here now. Move you in here. Let's kind of zoom us in a little bit. So if I go direct, spending about $3,519. I matched my souvenirs and my ER cash because anyways, yeah. So if I didn't match it, it was like just under $3,500, but right around that $3,500 mark. With the cruise, if I do an interior, we're just right over the $3,500 mark. But if I go ocean view, it's going to be right under $4,000. And I know that that one's too high. So we're going to say no to the ocean view. And so now I'm looking at direct versus a cruise. And I think I'm going to go with the cruise because this is 3 days. Whereas with this one, it's 5 days. So I'm getting 2 extra days for essentially the same price. But then I'm also getting a lot more activities. So not only am I getting to swim with the pigs, right? But I get to gambling, Deal or No Deal, Wheel of Fortune, all of the things that are on the cruise ship as well. Plus we get to eat at a fancy steakhouse. Yeah. And then we're going to get to go to the private island. So I feel like I would get to do more and we would get to see more with the cruise versus direct. And then I also looked at other things to do in Nassau and outside of Nassau, and nothing else really seemed too exciting. So I feel like the cruise is the way that we're going to go. So we are going to go with the cruise. So with that being said, I want to finalize my budget here so I can start checking things off the list and then doing budget versus actual to see how much we actually spend and what we were planning on spending. I'm going to also go ahead and get my cruise booked, the flight spot, and all of the add-ons that I want to add on. So I will have, like, in the budget category, some of it will also be in the actual category. So I'll speed that up while I do that for you guys. Okay, so I have my budget all budgeted out. I am just gonna mark off all of those things that I've already purchased today. So that includes the cruise, both our flights, priority access, and then the excursion, swim with pigs. Gambling, bingo, Wheel of Fortune dealer, all of that stuff has to be purchased on ship, on board. Oh, I also booked the IHG hotel with my 32,000 points. Perfect. Okay, so there we go. Budget is ready to go, and I can start saving for this. I do have a plan for it. You'll see that in some of my extra duty funds and my annual bonus that I'm getting, and summer school funds. A lot of that is getting paid for out of all of that stuff coming up in June. Okay, thank you so much for being here with me today. I greatly appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me and watch me do all of the budgeting things. If you're enjoying my content and haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you along for the journey. And those of you who are following along, if you enjoyed the video, please like it and give me a comment down below and let me know, where are you going this summer, or what is like your dream trip that you hope you can go on by the end of the year? I'd love to hear all of your thoughts. And until I see you guys next time, have a great day, week, month, year. See you soon. Bye.